Thanks for being here. I'm Thiare, and I'm joined here with Thiago and Thomas. And today we're going to take you through a journey of building high-volume, data-driven architecture for Open Finance Brasil, and how we overtake like a huge bottleneck with scalability and cost efficiency. By the end of this, you understand how we transform the system that was struggling into a system that can handle massive amounts of incoming data and also save us a lot of money. So with me is Thomas Rabelo. He is the Open Finance Brasil tech lead. He has more than 16 years of software engineering and technical leadership, specializing in software architecture distributed systems. Also, he's an academic contributor with scientific publications and teaching experience. And also with us, there is Thiago Maciel. He is the head specialist in cloud architecture. He has more than 15 years in building enterprise scale solutions. Is a full stack technical expertise in about everything that we know. He's also specialized in high performance distributed systems and has cross industry experience in Brazil. And he also focuses on scalability, resilience, and cost effectiveness. And then there's me. I am head of data and engineer at Open Finance Brasil. I have more than 18 years in financial industry and banking. I'm specialized in leading data platform teams, focus on high performance distributed systems, and I'm also an expert in agile methodologies and system design. And more than all, I'm passionate about inspiring leadership and talent development. But let's take a look at what we're going to talk today. First, I'll context you a little bit about Open Finance Brasil. Then we discuss the problems that we face, how we rethink our architecture, the results we achieve, and then we're going to conclude with some lessons learned. And then in the end, we're going to talk a little bit about what are next and what things we're thinking and what is going to happen with the Open Finance ecosystem in Brazil. All right, let's go on. First, a little bit of context. Open Finance Brasil is a very big deal. It is the largest open finance system in the world with over 30 million customers that share data between institutions and over 900 institutions that participate in Open Finance Brasil. Its main objectives are make the financial products accessible to everyone, foster competition in the sector, and also make it more efficient and innovate. All right. So, and with those things in mind, the vision for Open Finance is to create the most stable, functional Open Finance in the world and ensure data quality and reliability in data sharing. And in this context is that our platform comes in. The platform we are going to talk about is called Metadata Collection Platform, or just PCM. That's how we're going to talk about it along the presentation. Let's first understand a little bit what PCM is. So our metadata collection platform. PCM is a central hub that collects all metadata from financial institutions' interactions. In Open Finance, there is no central technology infrastructure. It's all distributed. So the institutions talk with each other through APIs. And PCM collects metadata and monitors everything. It's like the heartbeat of the Open Finance Brasil. It's very important because it maintains compliance and efficiency of the ecosystems. It's also essential for regulatory oversight by the Central Bank of Brazil. Therefore, PCM has become like a crucial component to our ecosystem. But to explain all of that and the architecture, the problems, and what we did to solve them, I'll pass this to Thiago.
Thanks, Thiare, for the overview of the PCM. So before we dive into our final solution, let's see together the major issues we have faced in the architecture of PCM. So our old architecture was created by an old contractor of Open Finance Brasil, and this previous architecture combined several components that was not designed for massive and real-time data. We had, for example, Portuguese database trying to handle all the history data, a dual caching layer with MongoDB and Redis to do the business transactions, a mix of technology that made the operation expensive and complicated, a poor design of the RabbitMQ stream, and not only the RabbitMQ stream, and the queue designing also. And also the platform was running in an on-premise environment. So this architecture caused high operation cost, complicated maintenance, and poor performance under heavy load, as we'll see in the next slide. What you can see in this graphic, the old architecture had a critical limitation. At one point, they tried to process the entire dataset and the system collapsed under the load. Yeah, exactly. Its supply couldn't handle the volume. This means that over 500 million reports were never processed in the platform. And even if these limitations were still handled up to 100 million reports daily, which was impacting the critical business insights for the Open Finance. It was clear that we needed to make a change, and fast. This was the key reason that our team took over the stack and embraced this journey to re-architect the entire system and finally handle the entire dataset. So, before showing the final solution, I want to share that we have set 3 main decision drivers that became the foundation for our new approach. First, for any decision, we shall remember that the platform was managed by only 3 engineers at the time of the transformation journey. So we want to keep the new architecture as simple as possible. And for that, we love to follow the keep it simple approach, the key principle. We don't want, for example, to lose time debugging or maintaining the environment. So we want to focus on the business value. And finally, we also want to move to a pay-per-user model and eliminate unnecessary service to reduce the costs. So here's the big picture of our new architecture. We are now, as you can see, leveraging cloud servers that natively handle scaling and resilience, such as DynamoDB, SQS, Firehose, and S3. Now, we no longer need to worry about managing service and or scaling the environment to handle heavy loads, as we have. The infrastructure automatically adjusts to meet the demand, ensuring auto performance and without manual intervention. This allows us to focus on building and improving our applications, while the system handle the complexity of the resource management and the scalability. And now we can see our final event-driven architecture. As we have independent data flows, we chose an architecture where each domain has its own microservice and serves like Firehose, so we can process the entire events in parallel. Another good thing to remember is that this architecture helps us to handle sudden spikes in data without overwhelming any single system in this architecture. And you may be asking that the architecture had an AKS Kubernetes cluster, and this service is not our serverless, of course. I'm going to explain why. Because our volume has a steady and consistent workload, and service like Lambda is not a good fit, as we know. But we embraced EKS with Karpenter for dynamic resource provisioning and KEDA for event-driven outscaling based on business metric. And if you don't know about those two tools, please have a look, because they are pretty good. This allows that to instantaneously scale up when volume soars, and down to save costs, exactly what we need in higher volume environment. This piece of architecture that made our team to sleep better at night. So in the old approach, we use different database for a single flow, and now we rely on AWS native SaaS like DynamoDB for quick lookups and do the business transactions for this platform, and set S3 for the long-term cost-effective storage. By narrowing down our storage technologies, to those ideally suited for the job, we significantly simplified the data flow and saved our operational overhead. And that's the end of the presentation for me. I thank you for watching, and now I will ask Thomas to join us.
Okay, now let's look at what we achieved after this transition. We'll highlight the performance boosts, cost reduction, and also how we improve our system reliability. Starting with how we ingest these reports, our daily report capacity grew tenfold. So going from 100 millions to 1 billion processed reports without any bottlenecks. Another great result, it was the cost reduction. So we saw 70% cost reduction, dropping from about $7 to $2 per million reports processed. But perhaps the most important is that our system no longer suffers from the backlog that once left 500 million records unprocessed. Diving into numbers, we selected the three measures AWS services, the SQS, DynamoDB, and also the Firehose. And in terms of message volumes, we handle about 1.5 billion messages a day. So with peaks of 70,000 messages per second of TPS in this service specifically. We average 50 million requests per day in DynamoDB in terms of load, ensuring our mission critical operations that are allowing it to read and write data quickly. On the data processing in Firehose, we found about 1.4 terabytes a day in our pipelines. So this is about equivalent to 108 high definition movies a day. So it's a very impressive number. And finally, on our APIs, we handle at the peak about 2,000 requests per second with an average of 12,000 requests per second. So this demonstrates the consistency and high performance delivery. And so in summary, our system came from and unifying our technology stack, shifting to an event-driven model, and also embracing the principle of using the right service for each job. And also by investing in the observability from the start. So we ensure that we have real-time sites in performance and also in cost metrics. And this helps us to maintain our operational excellence. It's up to you today.
Thank you, Thomas. So, what is next for Open Finance Brazil? Open Finance has a lot of services that are still being included in the ecosystems, and the next two things that we are working on, it's Pix by proximity. So Pix is a kind of debt payment, tap and go, that you use your phone to pay, like credit card, but instead of using an actual credit card, you're going to use like your debit account. And the other service is credit portability among institutions. So basically, you can move your credit and your loans between the institutions, the one that offers you the best price. And we anticipate that It's probably going to grow our base to over 2 billion reports a day by the end of 2024. So to keep that growing, we are now POC Temporal.io with the idea of simplify the distributed system management and also reduce even more the operation complexity. Maybe we're going to come back here and talk a little bit about Temporal.io in the next year. But that's all for now. I hope you have enjoyed. I'm very thankful for your being with us with this journey. Feel free to reach out, me, Thiago, and Thomas, and let's keep the conversation going. Thank you very much again. Take care.